Let's now talk about this more with federal defense attorney Ronald Chapman. Ron, it's always good to have you. I'm looking at, I have a bevy of headlines in front of me this morning. This one from the New York Times says Trump storms back. He defeats Harris and caps his resurgence from outcast to felon to president-elect. The big question, now that he has won, is he essentially his own judge and jury? Is he literally above the law now?
I'm going to do something lawyers never do and give you a straight answer. Yes, absolutely. So these criminal cases are going to go away. Jack Smith has to wind them down. The president-elect distinction does not really matter because soon enough he will be president, which means these cases cannot go forward. That was decided in an Office of Legal Counsel 1973 and 2000 memo. The tougher question is with the civil cases, what's going to happen? And for that, we can look back to Paula Jones and Bill Clinton. There's precedent there that those civil cases can continue, but they need to continue in a way that does not interfere with the execution of the duties of the office of president. So federal cases gone, civil cases, they can't interfere with them. The state criminal cases are another question. And again, we can look at the Office of Legal Counsel opinion, which suggests that the state prosecutions must go away as well.
And does that apply to before he takes office? Because, I mean, just looking at this month, he's still due to be sentenced later on in November in New York City for his criminal hush money trial conviction. Will that happen now since it's before January, or how does that play?
So Trump has asked the judge in the New York case to stay the sentencing because it could interfere with the transition duties. And that is exactly the argument that would need to be made under this policy, that you're interfering with the potential duties of the sitting president, and therefore a state should not be interfering in that way. I would expect the judge to grant that, absolutely, if not find another way to dismiss this prosecution. The same thing is going to happen in Fulton County to the extent that there are any proceedings that should not interfere with his transition duties.
Ronald, do you think that these indictments ended up playing a role in him winning the election yesterday?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think that we saw poll numbers start to jump when these cases came forward. I think that there's a large number of people, and you know, as a federal criminal defense attorney, I can say this, there's a lot of people who feel like the federal government has created laws and executed them in a very vague and political fashion. And I think when people started to see that play out, there was a lot of sympathy for Donald Trump where there ordinarily would not have been. I think that these prosecutions kind of tilted things in favor of Donald Trump. And, you know, we could only imagine what a Donald Trump 2020 presidency would have looked like. It would have been much different.
I have like 5 seconds left. Your prediction on if he pardons himself, can he?
He won't need to, but one thing he could do is ask Congress to pass legislation that would wipe this all away.
Okay.
But yeah.
Ronald Chapman, thank you for the straight lawyer answers this morning. I appreciate it. It is somewhat of an anomaly. Thank you for your time, per usual.
My pleasure. Thank you.